canto tuyo. El canto tuyo, ya tengo el disco, pero prefiero verte en vivo. Yo devoro momentos, una y otra vez. Dime tú, si todavía te saben bien. El canto tuyo. A la izquierda y abajo está el corazón. Y como su comandante, tú entraste por allá. El canto tuyo, y sé que ni mereces el cariño que te tengo, sé que ni piensas vernos con...
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Tonight we have a wonderful evening and a wonderful special guest that we're gonna bring on a little bit. I'll tell you more about that. Before I jump into that, we want to thank you all for tuning in tonight, and all of those of you that like to join us every Wednesdays. We have our exchange live sessions every Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So as you all know, and or if you are new to this live stream, let me tell you what's going on. This is a space that we have been building, presented by the Jazz Exchange, to create a platform for musicians and musician entrepreneurs and people that are in the music industry and just artists in general that are trying to share their music with new people. And this is a space for you really to come and check out what's going on. We have the fortune to talk to amazing musicians, all based most of them based on the New York City area. And as you all know, New York City is the lab for this music, for for jazz in general, and for a lot of things, of course. But so we're fortunate enough that we've been able to actually talk to a lot of amazing musicians, and tonight is another one of those nights. We have an amazing composer. She's a writer. She's a teacher. I think she's an entrepreneur as well. And she's an amazing singer. So before we jump into her and I tell you who it is, you already know because of the poster and everything. But want to just keep encouraging you guys to subscribe to all our social media. We have you see on the screen right now all the um, social handles for Instagram, if you like Instagram, or if you like Twitter too, if you like YouTube. I think we do have to say that our website is the spot where you can find everything about what we're doing. We have there information about our different programs, even some new programs that just started because of the pandemic, like our virtual jazz sessions. If you want to find out more about that, you can also go to our YouTube channel and check out some of our latest productions. Just briefly talking, our virtual jazz sessions are sessions that we do remotely. This started because of the pandemic and not being able to play together. So everybody just musicians record from home and they send us stuff and then we put it together. And it's another way to keep creating this beautiful music for all of you guys. So that's one of the programs we have. We also have an educational program, and let me show you a little thing that we like to show every time because we're so proud of the students that are part of it, that have been part of it, and we're excited for the new ones to come. Some of these students are already going to college in New York. Kids from the border towns of El Paso and Juarez in Mexico and El Paso, Texas. We've had the opportunity to actually connect with organizations like Jazz House Kids in Montclair, and kids have come all the way out here and spent a couple of weeks and talked and learned from a lot of amazing teachers. So we want to continue doing that. I want to tell you, I couldn't include that in the slide today, but we're so happy that we were actually able to get featured in an interview a couple days ago for Channel 9 in El Paso, local El Paso Channel 9. And we talked about our relief fund, and we talked about our programs like virtual jazz sessions. And so if you want to check out the interview, you can go to our website at TheJazzExchange.org, and we'll have the information there. As well as we're going to put the link on the comments. A lot of these things we're going to be putting on the comments, so make sure to just look out for the comments and just go there and find out what's going on. But this was an amazing interview coverage. We talked about our efforts to raise funds for musicians, or for a program, so that we can help musicians through these hard times. So yes, very, very thankful for Channel 9 and all the crew and all the staff that was able to cover this story on us. We specifically talk about one of our virtual jazz sessions that we did a couple months ago with the people from the borderland, from El Paso, Las Cruces, Juarez, and even from New Jersey. So anyways, we are very happy to talk about that. But main thing tonight is our special guest. She is one of the strongest voices that I personally have heard. I really think she's amazing. She also writes amazing lyrics. She has a super strong voice, and and beautiful. She has some music for us, and but I think I'd like to bring her on so that I can start the questions, because definitely there's some things that I would like to know. Just how does she do it? She's based in New York, and she's doing amazing things, and she's releasing amazing music. She has some things prepared for us. So let me bring on the wonderful New York-based singer and composer and lyricist and all these different things. Emily Braden. How are you, Emily? What's up?
Hi. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
Good to see
hey,
you.
looking good. You look beautiful.
Thank you. It's good to see you again. Last time it was Candace, so I
I
get both of
know,
you. I
I
get to talk to
know.
both of you.
Yeah, Candace is throwing everything at me now. So no, it's
That's
it's a
right.
wonderful thing. I was like, yeah, man. I've been checking out your music since I was able to meet you and learn more about you, and I've been sharing, man. And so this is a wonderful opportunity for me to talk to you and pick your brain and a lot of topics of music and organization and everything, like the industry, what you're doing. How are you doing? You doing okay?
I think overall I'm doing okay, considering that things are continually pretty rough
Yeah.
for all of us. Yeah, I'm here in New York City. I have stayed so far and plan to stay to stick it out here. So I'm in Harlem, and completely major shift for all of us, especially for artists who are used to performing live. But I'm here. I'm doing. This is my sixth home haircut. We're killing the game.
Wow,
Killing the game.
really? Oh,
Oh yeah,
wow,
yeah.
that's so
I got that
awesome.
set of clippers and I got into it. So
That's really cool. I actually cut my own hair too. I need a haircut, but it definitely, we had to like develop a lot of different skills. Like
100%.
with
Yeah.
this whole situation. I'm so glad that you're doing okay and you're staying safe. I think last time we saw each other in person was in Central Park. We
In
were
Central Park.
social distance and everything, but we were
Yep.
hanging out. That was really nice. Unfortunately, it's
Masked up.
yeah, maxed up and everything. You
Hmm.
riding your bike and everything. That was really cool. All across town.
I know. I realized I'm definitely a fair weather bike rider, because as soon as it got cold, I was so into it, and then it got cold. I was like, yeah, and no, no, I'm not.
I
So now I'm walking. I'm walking a lot. Like,
That's
I
cool.
just realized Manhattan is a beautiful city, so it's like, these big 5 mile walks on these cold days, and it's been saving my mental health and helping me physically as well. So it's been really
I
good. You got to
know.
find strategies to be okay.
That's true. I think, yeah, I think a lot of us can relate to that. Not only musicians, but people
Hmm.
that was forced to just stay home, and it's still like I'm sure. I mean, I know we're adapting to the situation and everything, but it's still kind of weird. It's like, I mean, I think I'm like, man, it's been a couple of days and I haven't stepped outside of my place. Like, oh,
Right.
what's going on? And
Right.
and that could be a little bit kind of bad for your, like you said, your mental health too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, I
Eh,
like that idea. Thanks for sharing that. Like just going out there and having a walk, that's not gonna do much harm if you obviously you wear your mask and you stay
Yeah.
safely distance from people and all that. But definitely
Yeah.
walking. I'm so thrilled to have you on the show tonight. Man,
I'm happy to be here.
you share some songs with us, and I was like, as I'm like preparing the show, I was listening to it and I was like, oh shoot, I'm already jamming to stuff. Like
Yes.
some of you
Good.
knew, man, I'm so excited because you actually presenting, you giving us a sneak peek of one of your upcoming releases.
Two.
Two of them. That's right.
Yes.
That is right.
Yeah.
So, man, tell me about your struggle as a musician, releasing music during this
Sure.
pandemic.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to say hi to everybody. I saw it right as you were talking. I was looking at some of the comments. So I know some friends are in the building, and I'm happy. This is as
Yeah.
close as we get to socializing, as this is as close as it gets. So thank you for watching. I've been excited for this all day and
That's
before that
awesome.
as well. So I haven't released a studio album for a very long time, and the song you played for the intro was from my debut album, and that song's called Hace Mucho, and it's been out for a long time. And over the last couple years, it's been since 2 summers ago, I started working with the same producer, Misha Piatigorsky, on this new album. And some babies take a long time and
That's right.
are a little rough, but not really rough, but just the process. We've been working on it for a couple years, and we're kind of finally getting to this place of being like, okay, how do I release it in 2020? And then the pandemic happened. So it's and the industry feels like it's really kind of all over the place, and so often releasing a new album is a way to connect with booking agents and book tours, which is what I absolutely, my heart is like so content traveling with music. So that was sort of the part of the intention of making the album. But yeah, I started the album sort of post-election, post-losing my father as well in the same week of that 2016 election. And it was really inspiring me to create and to kind of process my grief and process my feelings through that, and also to sort of have a voice politically. So I'm excited that the album is basically mixed. And at the same time, it's this super weird time where it's like, how do I, we're all at home now. So many musicians are releasing things all the time. How do I really get this music, connect with people through this music? Because I've invested so much time and energy into it, how to do that. So we were sort of talking about this before, but like, first of all, just trusting myself and the pace that I'm going with it, and wanting to slow things down, wanting to feature songs, release singles, which I think is, people consume songs more than albums now, I think. And so that's sort of where my head is at, is like, how can I kind of amplify, magnify each of these tunes that I've created with Misha, and sort of slow that process down before I actually release the music. And so, 2021, that's sort of my plan, is to release some singles slowly and really talk about, the inspiration for the originals, or the production, or the lyrics, things like that, and create some content, some visual content. And then, I don't know, hopefully we'll be seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's when I can release the album. But if anyone knows how to do this, help me out.
if anybody has figured it out yet,
listen,
like, can we please write a book or something?
I know.
Because
as an independent artist too, independent artist, it's the most beautiful thing, because everything that you create and everything you do, you can just own it. It's yours, like any success that I have is like, I earned that. But at the same time, right now in the pandemic, I've really just tried to focus on taking some of the pressure off of myself to understand or to know what to do, because I think so many of us really do not know what to do. And I definitely include myself in that group.
Right.
And it's sort of just plodding along and building my artistry and building things around that release, so that when it's time and when I can, that it'll be ready, and I'll be in a good space to be able to do that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a time to make a lot of decisions, right? And sometimes we wish that those decisions were better informed, but I mean, we're all facing new territory here, and we all kind of looking forward to that 2021. Please come already. Please.
Well, and there's no guarantee there either.
I know,
but
that's true.
I've been,
that's true.
I've been super inspired by people, by artists, just, creating throughout this, but also respecting that, we're very much in a display kind of culture where we think we see everything that's going on for people, and just trying to understand that we really don't, like, tonight I'm releasing, or I'm previewing some new music, but like, that music's been in my brain and in my head for years, so just kind of having some perspective and having some compassion for all of us throughout this, and navigating it in a way that makes sense for each individual person. So for me, that's kind of slowing it down and really celebrating each song and the lyrics that I wrote for tunes, and the sort of concept of the album overall, which is basically, what is it to make art in a time that's filled with devastation?
Yeah, and how to find the means, to actually do it, right? Because
right.
That's one of the things that we like to encourage too in this show is is not, I start the conversation with them, with the musicians, to say, okay, what are you doing to, business wise, because this is,
Yeah.
sometimes for people that are listening to this music, it might be a little bit blurry to understand. Oh, that's a wonderful song. It's great. It sounds great. You know what I mean? But it's there. So we start the conversation so that people can check out this shows and understand. Oh, that's what they do. Oh, that's that's
Hmm.
how it takes. That's how much energy and power and and everything takes. Let me ask you something. You mentioned that that back in the 2016 you lost your father. I'm sorry
Hmm.
for your loss.
Thank
And
you.
like anybody, I had my father passed away in 2013 too, and it's
Mm.
definitely something that for everyone it's like a
Yeah. Sorry
game
for your
changer.
loss as well.
Thank you.
It is.
It
Yeah.
it's a for anyone. It's a game changer for sure. Your structure of life changes. What was it for you as an artist? Like how did it translate to your music, or you know what I mean? If you can briefly talk about that.
Absolutely. I describe it often as that, like I said, the week that my dad passed away was just a few short days after the election in 2016, which
Mm,
was for myself was traumatic as for many Americans, and my dad as well. And it was not, it was a really terrible time,
mm-hmm.
to, I wish we would have had at least that to celebrate, but we didn't.
Yeah.
So I think for me, what grief did, living in New York, like the hustle is constant, right?
Oh
And we're
yeah.
always participating and we're always taking in new information creatively and otherwise. And so grief like forced me to, I call it sort of step out of the current, like literally just sort of get out of this river that we're constantly just moving forward and
Mm-hmm.
things are passing us by and we're moving quickly. I stepped out and I think it really, like, not gonna lie, felt very lost for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that that's really a process, part of a huge part of the process for transformation. But what it did was allow me to like unplug a little bit and start to process my feelings and figure out what do I want to say about this? Where is my head artistically speaking? Where, and I've always been sort of a journaler and a writer, even more than a songwriter. I like my COVID journals. Like I
Oh
write all the
wow,
time,
that's very interesting. Cool.
and so that is sort of how it started. Was I was just like, okay, let me start really journaling again, and then it's a weird kind of feeling of being compelled to start to create an album or a work of art. Just it's like a drive. It's the same thing that drives me to perform. It's like that self-expression. So but I do feel like grief kind of gave me pause, and um I felt like, okay, it's time. I want to say something new. I want to put something else. It also gets you thinking on an existential level, like
Yeah.
what have you put out into the world? And for me, so much of my life has been about live performance, but I also do see the value of having recordings that are around forever and that people can,
Come back to them and
play on repeat
right.
and things like that. So yeah, I feel like grief works in mysterious ways, and for me it was very much tied to my creativity, and making an album was a huge therapeutic experience for me. And hopefully, the hope is that other people connect with the music in the same way.
Yeah.
um and some of the songs are very like escapist and they have nothing to do with grief, and then other ones are very directly talking about social issues and racial injustice, and sort of having a political voice in my music for the first time, a directly political voice. So it's been a really very interesting and slow, and just this process, as we always talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of how it came to that's sort of the genesis of it.
Right. That's awesome. I mean, it like I said, at the beginning of the show, I think not only your vocal, physically is strong, but also like what you are standing for, and the message that you project, at least to my ears, when you're singing the song, is really strong. It's a strong message. So kudos for that, because it's a huge thing as a singer, as a songwriter, and as a composer that you are. You are. We have a couple songs that we want to share with people. I think
Mhm.
I would like to talk a bit about the song that, because people were kind of coming in and joining in and whatnot. I like to talk a little bit more because it's such an amazing song that we heard at the intro. Can we listen to it again? How do you feel about it? You cool?
Of course,
Can you
absolutely,
but tell us a
yeah.
little bit because is that you singing? Because it's in Spanish. I mean,
Bueno, que
wait.
podemos hablar en español también, que yo sí compongo en español.
Oye, pero
I do,
mira.
I do compose in Spanish. I speak Spanish. I don't know why, but I studied Spanish. It's like speaking Spanish to me is like singing. I love it very much. It's very much about self-expression and connecting with people. So entonces sí, yo compuse esta canción con Misha Piatigorsky también, que es un pianista y también productor. He's the producer and pianist. And we made this a long time ago, but it's that song Hace Mucho is one of my favorite, and it's gone with me around the world, and I've been able to connect with a lot of different musicians because of the sort of Afro-Latin rhythmic thing, and also because there's 3 parts. So with that song, I always call it like a paint by number for songs, and when you're live, I can just call whatever part I want. We're going to part 3, we're going to part 2, we're going back to part 1. So like I remember being in Burkina Faso with Willem Delisfort, who you had on last week.
That's right.
Shout out to Willem.
Shout out.
And that's where we met. But like we ended up in this room with a trio of musicians, fantastic musicians from Burkina Faso, and don't speak each other's language. We were like, let's play some music. And that was one of the songs that they ended up learning and playing with us at the festival. And like, I love drums and I love percussion. So it was really fun. I always like to just see what kind of flavor people from different parts of the world bring to that particular song.
I see. And this is this particular song is off of your is that your first album?
Yeah, it's my first album. It's called Soul Walk. I think it was 2009, so it's been a long time, but I still feel like it still brings me joy to hear that music and to perform that music live. So it is out.
It's a great tune. So let's hear it though. Okay. This is Hace Mucho is one of your compositions, right?
Yep.
And so this is off of Emily's first album, Soul Walk. You're checking out the front cover of it, of the album cover, and it's available on the platforms. You know, Emily's amazing, so make sure to, you know, put it on your playlist and everything. So all right, let's get to it. This is Hace Mucho.
Hey.
Hace mucho que no escucho el canto tuyo. Ya tengo el disco, pero prefiero verte en vivo.
Yeah.
Yo devoro momentos una y otra vez. Dime tú si todavía te saben bien. A la izquierda y abajo está el corazón. Y como subcomandante, tú entraste por allá. El canto tuyo y sé que ni mereces el cariño que te tengo, sé que ni piensas vernos con los ojos encendidos del deseo, pero yo no me olvido el calor de tu mirada. Hace mucho que no escucho el canto tuyo. el canto tuyo. Hace mucho que no escucho el canto tuyo.
Man.
We had fun making those. Like we had
Oh,
fun making that
man.
tune. We really did.
This is such a cool tune. I mean,
Thank you.
I think a lot of musicians through, like we were saying earlier, through this pandemic, we have been pushed to learn a little bit more about recording ourselves from home and
Yep.
production, and like, oh, even some things that I think as musicians we would think that we would know, but you just didn't know. I mean, personally,
Hmm.
like, just I was like, what are the changes of that tune? Let me practice those changes, and it's like, but like, oh, a microphone, dude. Wait, what? Or, you know what I mean? Like a dog. Wait, what? So, anyways, I think a lot of us have, like, had to get closer to that and learn more about it, and myself included. I've been getting into production, and I'm just like listening to the song, and I'm like going like, oh shoot, this is a lot of work, man. You guys did a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
are you on all
Yes.
the background vocals too?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that part. Misha Piatigorsky and I, we've been working together for a very long time, and I've written my originals with him exclusively. And some for some like we both just have these kind of crazy imaginations,
Mm-hmm.
and they come together in this incredible way because I'm very much you know like he'll take out, I can express my idea and be like, okay, and then he can take it harmonically to where it needs to be and help me with the arrangement. And or sometimes he writes a tune, I write the lyric to it, or sometimes I come with the tune that's almost 80% there, and I'm like, how do I finish this? So we have this really kind of symbiotic working relationship, and I love him on many levels, and I also just really love that our imaginations, like we just go there.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
man, I'd like to ask you more about that in terms of your
mhm.
relationship with, especially for, like, musicians out there that are, considering releasing some music, or maybe getting into the recording, phase of their careers. Maybe they've only been
Mhm.
performing. I mean, there's a lot of musicians out there that they haven't recorded this stuff, and they might not even know what's the first step. I mean, obviously, we all know we can just go into the studio and rent the studio and record, but I'm very intrigued to learn more about how did you develop this relationship with your with your producer, Misha,
Mhm.
and and was it kind of like the first one that you hit up and it just worked out, or you talked to and work with other people, or how did that work, and how important it is to have a relationship like this with somebody like your producer?
Yeah. I've definitely recorded on a lot of other projects as a special guest, or singing other people's music, or whatever. I do enjoy being in the studio very much. But for me, the relationship with Misha, he's known me, it's kind of my longest creative relationship. I was living in Victoria, BC when I met him up in Canada.
Mm,
And he used to come out there for the summers. And so I hired him for a gig. And he said, I live in New York City. I produce albums. He plays piano in like master at his instrument,
yeah.
composer, and all those things. So I think I kind of lucked out in it in establishing that relationship very early on, and also kind of growing through it, right? So it's interesting to be making a new album with him now. It's almost like a bookend to that Soul Walk album when we were like
Mm,
young and just like, yeah, let's do that thing and do that thing, and and then having come here, me finding my own feet as a band leader, as a composer, as artistically with my vision, having even more of a sense of what I want to hear and what I want to put out into the world. So for me, like coming back and saying I want to make another album with him specifically feels very much like like I said, sort of a bookend and the second piece to what we did back then, which we still perform those songs and they've grown and they transform and they're different every time. But I wanted to come up with a new project as I am now, in the state that I am now, who I am now as an artist. And so it's very different, and I feel like he also allows me to be very dynamic. On the new album, we have like everything from similar energy to that, like really energetic stuff, and then we also have like an 8-minute ballad
mm,
that's a single take through that he wrote for me. He wrote this tune for me, beautiful. He even composed the lyrics for me on that tune. And it's, I think it will showcase a lot of growth, as it should. I didn't even live in New York City when I made that last album that we've been listening to, so I have grown enormously
yeah.
on all levels and gone through a lot. And so I think those creative relationships are very important, and I'm always building with other folks as well. But I'm really grateful for that one specifically.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, whatever you guys are doing, together, it's working out because it's
Ah,
just like it sounds. It has its own sound. It has its own thing. And it sounds like fearless. It sounds like you're
oh, that's
just like,
cool.
hey, I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm gonna make sure that it's good. That's one thing that I really admired, because is not you're not only musically just saying this is what I strongly believe to do, but then also, like you were saying earlier, I'm gonna take it slow, and I'm gonna find when the time comes for this to be released, and you know what
Right.
I mean, for these things. Um, yeah,
I do think that fearlessness does come from a trust and also from playing with someone for so long, but it also is just part of my personality that honestly people used to say that and I wouldn't have understood that, but now having some distance from myself as the performer and like seeing old videos, or like dancing around at the 55 bar, or like listening to that old recording, I feel like I'm able to get some perspective on who I am, or more perspective on who I am as an artist, and that I don't want to hold anything back in
yeah,
order to facilitate an experience for
right,
everybody in the room. So it's been kind of cool to like have that perspective on who I am and what I really value as an artist, and what I want to create
right.
as an artist as well.
Never enough time in this life, right? We can't hold back.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know if we're gonna be here tomorrow, right?
Right.
So that first song that we heard was from your first album, but now,
Yeah.
uh, we have you have this video prepared for us, but this is
Mhm.
from the new album. This is what from where
Yes.
we've been talking about. This is tell us a little bit about this song that we're gonna this video that we're gonna watch. This is an amazing. First of all, now talk about production, man. Audio wise, killing. Now video wise, killing too. Like, what's going on with you
Yay.
guys? Jesus.
It was my first time making an official music video. Like I said, I'm so much about live performance, but we before the pandemic hit last year, 2019, we had created this song. It's a song that Misha wrote that I wrote the lyrics to, and I feel like it gave me a chance to speak to this particular moment in history. It was post-election. I think the conversation around race and social justice is definitely becoming louder, and including more voices. More people are paying attention. So I feel like I wanted to just talk about sort of what's going on. So we created this video in a little secret location in Manhattan, and friends showed up, and it was like, in the moment, it was incredible, and it just kind of came together. And then it was weird, like I hadn't found a moment to release it, and so I was planning to release it during the spring. Long story short, basically after the murder of George Floyd, and in the moment when so much unrest and so much, you know, basic in the, you know, this moment in the revolution of for Black liberation and um, healing in this country, or the opportunity for healing, hopefully, and for change, for actual real change. I had planned this big release that was just going to be this whole thing. And then I was like, you know what, right now I want to share this video. I want to contribute. I want to amplify this conversation as much as I can. And being an artist, a white artist that makes Black American music, I feel like my understanding of what that means and what my role and my participation can look like is growing and changing. And I really want to like show up. And so it was just in June. I only released the video. I didn't release the single for people to like purchase because I felt like I didn't want to go into the promotional aspect of it, but it was wonderful. And I feel like, you know, it was a great way to connect with people in that moment and to use my voice in, I feel like as artists, we have responsibility to use our voice both inside and outside of the music. So this was one way to do it inside of the music. And it had this very special feeling because in that room were people of all races, all backgrounds, all beliefs, all genders, all sexual orientations. And like, when I look at that video now, it just makes me very emotional and also happy to see my community there and to see how we were all showing up. So it talks about Black Lives Matter. It talks about LGBTQ rights. It talks about gun violence in schools. And basically my thought was that, you know, transformation is, or revolution is very often a spiritual thing. And it's about every single person getting free in whatever way we can get free, whether that's learning to love your body or understanding, you know, where you live and what your own history is and how to relate to the people around you and how to contribute. So I won't rant about that, but I feel like we can all find ways, you know, if it is on the front line, then it's on the front line. If it's donating money, it's donating money. If it's, you know, there's so many ways that every day we have an opportunity to show up for what matters to us. So this was one way to do that. We released it in June and I was really happy with even though it was an emotional moment, it was really good to put that out into the world.
Man, I you know, I congratulate you for, like I said, you know, before, your fearless attitude towards these things of like just saying, you know, this is my platform, this is my outlet, this is what I do, and I'm gonna stand for what I think is right. And it's not easy though. It's not easy to do it, but definitely.
I just question myself all the time.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, is this the right thing? Am I doing enough? Am I not doing enough? Is this being sensitive? Am I offended? Like, how do I, you know, there's a lot of questions. And I think that's good for all of us to be asking those things, but to still be taking actions regardless, you know?
Exactly. So, yeah, why don't we just jump in to check out this amazing video? This is, it's The Strength of Love. This hopefully will be out soon, so we can get it all on our little playlist. And I think instead of putting it on my playlist, I think I'm gonna buy the actual album from you. You know, that's just me. You know, I you know, it's cool.
Thanks,
you know, streaming is cool, but we all know what the situation with streaming is for artists. But
Abel, you know, we're talking about industry right now. That's another part of why I haven't released that song yet, because I'm not feeling Spotify. And even as someone who uses Spotify, like, I'm tired of artists not getting paid, and I'm tired of, you know, the fact that, like, I'm having a really, like, I'm having an issue with putting music out that way.
Well,
so Bandcamp, I will probably be putting it out on Bandcamp, but even that, I'm just like, when things are like falling apart, I just kind of sit back. I'm like, you know what? Then I'm just not. No.
Maybe just staying on the same spot might miss that huge rock that's gonna come and, you know, crush me.
Wait until the dust settles a little bit or something.
Exactly.
So just the video's out now, but the single will be out.
So soon. Maybe let's check out the video and then we can, you know, have, you know, continue that conversation for sure. It's something that definitely we need to, you know, converse more about it. So this is off of this is going to be on the new album.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't know when it's out yet, but what you can do right now is go to Emily Braden's YouTube channel. We're going to put it on the comments, and you can follow her on her channel. Make sure that, I mean, you've heard this 100 times, people. Like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow it, because has become like a way for us to put out new stuff. And
and thank you in advance.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, check it out. I'm gonna subscribe. I think I already subscribed, but I'll double check anyway. So this is The Strength of Love. Amazing video, amazing composition by Misha and Emily. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right. Jeez, man.
Woohoo!
Like I said,
Aw.
amazing. It looks like one of those really fun music videos. Y'all were having fun.
We did. We,
Eh,
we we had a full bar. We're like, let's stock the bar. Let's actually just have a real party and
that's
film this
cool.
video.
But you guys,
Yeah,
this now for everybody out there. This was not during the pandemic. Don't go
no,
crazy.
no, no, no.
This was
Yeah.
before that. Okay,
Oh,
when
I'm hardcore. I'm not doing anything without that little mask on my face. I'm not going in anywhere, period.
right.
So no.
So when did
That
when
this
when
was
did you film this?
it was like very spontaneous. It was the end of last summer, so August of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and we just asked folks to come out. And actually, the original band who's playing on that recording is Danton Bowler and Rudy Royston,
Woo.
Freddie Bryant. I'm gonna forget someone. Tatum Greenblatt, and so they weren't available, and we had this one little window to film that music video. And so I just put this ask out into the world, with to be like, hey, to learn this part and to play it live as we performed it. And so the band that you see there learned all the parts.
Right.
Josh Roberts on drums. Like it was just, yeah, it was really fun. And that day, like I couldn't sleep. It was so much fun.
That's cool. That's awesome. I think that's one of the best ways to do it. Like really, it shows the video that it's you. You know, because sometimes it could
Mm.
just be like, oh yeah, that's not how she is. You know what I mean? But the
Oh,
little bit
honey,
of that.
that's me. I'm like, let's go. And also, I like that it was a live. I got to play with a live band because making a video, I don't know about all the like.
Right,
It
right,
was just
right.
good to be actually singing and like interacting with people for my first time making an official music video. It was
Yeah,
fun.
that's really cool. Congratulations. So
Thank you.
everyone, make sure to go, as you saw in the credits, go to emilybraden.com. Is that right? That's your
Yeah.
website.
Yep.
So that you can check out what she's doing, what she's releasing. I hope you have some more of this music videos coming up. Is that
Thank you. I
possibly?
hope so too.
Hopefully.
We got to get creative, right? We got to get creative about how to make visual content since we can't be
Yeah, that's right.
you know, since I'm definitely complying with the, you know, recommended guidelines. But we do have some tunes.
Yes, yes. Can we? I know you have a song that you want to share, but only section of it. Tell us about it,
Yes.
please.
So this is a tune that no one has heard before. And when you all asked me to do this, I was kind of like, actually, this might get even me excited about releasing some new music. So this is a brand new baby that no one's heard. It's called Swell. I've been performing it live, but the studio recording hasn't been heard yet. So we're gonna play the first 2 minutes. And basically what this is was, I mentioned there was some escapist. I have a wild imagination. So this whole song is sort of an exploration of desire and pleasure through the theme of water. I'm like a water baby. I'm endlessly inspired by the ocean and the water. And these lyrics sort of came together over time. I, wrote them all over in different parts of, journal here, computer here, like finally put this piece together. And there's movements of this particular song. So it's a pretty
Oh, I see.
epic, kind of in a literal sense. And so we're just going to hear the first movement. I brought this tune to Misha and told him sort of the background, and we created these different sections. And it's pretty involved and intense, and I really enjoy it. Hopefully, it will make you want to dance. And the intro, I remember coming to Misha and saying, I want this to sound like sirens, like this sort of traditional, a siren out in the middle of the ocean calling to all the sailors, that kind of thing. So that's how the a cappella intro got created. That's me singing all the parts. And then we
Nice.
kind of go into the first movement of the song. So this is the premiere preview of a song that will be on the new album called Swell. It's an original song written by myself and Misha Piatigorsky.
Okay, so here we go. Check it out. We don't have a graphic for it because we don't have the graphic of the album yet, but make sure to go to Emily's website, and she's gonna be updating when this is gonna come out and everything. So for now,
And Instagram too.
and
I'm mostly on Instagram.
yes, check
Yeah.
out her Instagram. We're gonna share some of these links on the comments, and let's check it out. So this is Swell. Hope you
Yes.
enjoy it.
You walk by and our eyes begin to tell the story of how it starts and where it takes us. To the end, my daydreams bend. Just before I get the pleasure of your acquaintance, why do we even try to fight the undertow? Surrender to a deeper love we know. We're standing on the edge, right next to ecstasy. Baby, come follow me, just follow me. It's all just salt and water. You and I, we hide an ocean of desire. Our currents cross each other. Nothing stronger than the pull between new lovers. Caught up in a sudden rush of emotion, wanting to be weightless in your arms. I feel another wave of love coming over me. I feel it coming over me. Come set me free. Swell, everything in me moves to be closer to you. Swell, my senses overwhelmed. A flood of feeling rushing through to be closer to you. You. Oh, my body's sending signals. It's been asking for you.
All right. Okay. You only get to hear a little bit of it, so you just gotta you gotta come back and get this full track, though.
That was part one. Then we go into a whole other thing after that.
Right,
Yay!
right.
It's so nice to hear it. Thanks for
Man,
listening,
that
everybody.
sounds so good. Wow.
Thank you. We wanted to get into a little sexy kind of 70s bass vibe. We just want to make people feel good. And pleasure is important too. Feeling good is important, even though we're going through so much,
yes,
pandemic and otherwise. I feel like I'm excited to write songs about love and feeling good as well, because that's a huge part of staying alive and being well.
Yeah, and music is, that I just keep talking about this because I strongly believe is the case. Music is one of those things that really help us to go through. I mean, it's undeniable that we as human beings, we're more than just flesh and bone. Our mind is such an important thing. Our spirit, if you religious
Absolutely.
or anything. And I mean, how we expect to be healthy in every single way if we just consider ourselves bone? You know what I mean? We need this kind of thing. We need this music that relates to our soul and everything. And I congratulate you for really just portraying all these different good messages and really strong stands for what's right and all that. So I really appreciate all that you do, as an artist.
Oh, thank you, Abel. That's really beautiful of you to say. And I'm also completely with you that, we need uplifting things, and we need music is so much of a part of our existence, and of sort of the most basic human thing.
Yeah.
And so, and for me also creating music, feel good music, it's partly a balance because I'm such a feeler. I'm such a sensitive person, and it's easy to just be consumed by what the sort of awful and heartbreaking things that are happening every single day. And so I feel like it's an intentional resistance of that to create joyful music and to create to connect with people through that music.
As you mentioning about creating, though, let me ask you something. We actually had an opportunity with the Jazz Exchange to collaborate with you through one of our virtual jazz sessions. That we actually had the opportunity to record one of Willerm's. Shout out to Willerm again. Third shout out. I hope he's doing all right. And we actually did one of his songs that you actually wrote lyrics to it. I think we had an opportunity through our last secret show back in February. We had Willerm and his band, and he said, "Hey, Candace, if you want to sing a tune, it would be great. And we usually don't do that. We always just like, yeah, no, you do your thing. We produce the whole thing, the secret show. But Willer was like, yeah, it'll be great if you sing a song. And so he sent some songs, and then I think Candace was like, oh, this tune is great, and I love the lyrics, and that's how, like, who wrote the lyrics? Oh, Emily. I think that's, I mean, I really have to have Candace on the show next time to ask her exactly about it. But I like to know more about your process as a lyricist, and because now I know that it comes more from like you being a journalist. Basically, you write things, your thoughts and everything. Tell me more about a journaler.
Always
yes,
journaling.
not a journalist. But tell us more about that side of your artistry.
Absolutely. I've always been completely just obsessed with words and with, compelled by the need to, by self-expression and also just, I have journals from when I was like 6 years old up until now. So I'm always journaling, but it was the first way that Candace and I like really connected. We'd been on each other's radar, and I knew of her as a vocalist, and I knew of the Jazz Exchange, but it was like the first way we really connected. And I have to props to Candace, because when she called me to ask, first of all, she called me to ask if I felt okay about her singing the lyrics that I wrote, which of course I did. I felt great about it. But I feel like a lot of musicians, and maybe even specifically in the jazz world, I don't know, but sort of don't recognize publicly or acknowledge lyricists as being a huge part of the art of the song, of the composition. So she was like, I just want to like shout out to you for these lyrics that you wrote, and I'm wondering if you feel okay about me singing them. And I thought that was kind of amazing. And Willem, he's one of my favorite composers. We work together a lot as well. And so he gave me, for me, the inspiration was that he told me he wanted kind of like almost like a 90s R&B feel, like just in general energy. And then he wanted it to be about sort of the seasons of a love. Like, when you're young and in love, and it's like you have to go, you have the school year, and then you have a summer vacation, and you're apart from someone or whatever. And it was sort of this like really innocent young love feeling, and also this idea of seasons. But he lived in Miami, so we were talking about like, just so how the seasons of love, and that's how it's called Breath Away.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was just like, I love having a little bit of direction from someone so that I can help execute what their vision is. And I love to spend time sort of perfectly crafting, a poem basically through music, and trying to feel what fits the best. But a lot of times I'll actually open my journal and look for inspiration there, like just flip, because I do a lot of free writes. So I'll be like, that's kind of a cool sentence, and I'll see if that fits with what I'm trying to do, and sort of build the rest of a lyric around something that I've already written, so I don't have to constantly be coming up with something new. I have a lot of content that I pull from when I'm looking for lyrics.
Yeah, I find it very very cool that you really want to research about this song and about the composer. I think it just makes sense, right? I mean, you don't want to just write something completely off of what the song. So it's interesting to shed light on the relationship that there is between somebody that's writing lyrics for your song. I mean, in this case, right, that Willem wrote the music. So it's good for people checking it out. Make sure that hey, next time you listen to a tune, and it's written lyrics by somebody else.
Who wrote the lyrics, exactly.
Check out who wrote.
Yeah, and Willem's great at that too. He's always kind of announcing at his shows like lyrics by Kendra Foster, lyrics by Karen Marie, lyrics by Emily Braden. I think that's just really important, because it's a part of what the song is too.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's I can't wait to listen to some of the lyrics of this new album. That
Candace sang her behind off on that song. By the way, I was like, okay, you go ahead.
Yeah,
she was fantastic.
That was so much fun, though. Thanks for letting us use your lyrics, amazing. And obviously it's almost like once this it's like this marriage of lyrics and music is done, like it's when the composer and you talked about it and it made it happen. It's it's the message that it's super cool. Anyways, it's really interesting to to learn more, especially, because I mean, I write music, and Candace writes
Mm-hmm.
music, and sometimes I don't write lyrics. So,
Mm-hmm.
I write music and she writes lyrics. So we still like constantly like trying to learn how to
Yeah.
do this better,
To collaborate.
how to
Yeah.
collaborate with maybe one day we'll collaborate together or something.
I definitely hope so. And I'm also just astounded by you all, by the Jazz Exchange, and the
Oh,
fact that you are
man.
the founders of this, and the fact that you have been consistently helping musicians throughout this entire pandemic, and that you've created a opportunity for, folks to be taken care of financially or helped financially, but also be a platform for people to create during this time. Like it's from the very get-go when I started talking to Candace, I was just like, crazy respect for you
Oh,
guys
man.
for
Thank you.
putting that together. And also the quality is like so high, right?
Oh,
Because we're all
man.
trying to figure it out, but the way you're doing with the audio, with the videos, and people around the world, and connecting with your hometowns in Texas, right? Is it
Yeah.
El Paso?
Yeah, El Paso.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's such a cool connection, and like giving back to the community that you're from. I feel like Candace and I talked a lot about
That's
that. I'm
right.
from Idaho, and I stay very connected to Idaho, and lived in Canada and stay very connected to BC. But like I feel like that's another part of being an artist, is like really pouring back what you have learned and what you have and what you come up with and what you create into the community that created you,
That's right.
so
Yeah.
you all have really been doing that, and it's super badass.
Yeah.
Y tenemos que vernos allí en Texas, para hacer música juntos alguna vez.
O podemos ir a México también, si gustas. Podemos
Bueno,
hacer
que
a lo
vamos
mejor un
ya.
tour o una estación así, estaría
Exacto.
increíble. For
Pa'lante.
all of the ones that I was like, wait, what? Like, yes, Emily's amazing. Tú hablas excelente el español. Una de las cosas bien interesantes que se me hacen es que tu pronunciación es... No nada más me estoy refiriendo al español, pero me refiero en general a las letras que compones y cómo cantas la música. Se te entiende completamente todo. Es un tema... That's a very interesting thing for me. Like, and I never really thought about that because as a musician... I'm always like, oh, let's check out those chords and check out this. But then as you know, I've been growing. Candace was like, yeah, look at this lyricist. You can't, or this singer, you can't really understand what they're saying. And that's like,
Yes.
and as I was listening to more and more music, I was like, man, yeah, you can hear this guy, you can't understand this other guy. You're singing, it's like super pristine and nice and clear though.
Oh,
Can you talk
I
about that a little
appreciate
bit?
that. I honestly, with the Spanish, I feel like the Spanish and the music part of the brain are very much connected. So for me, it was like it's absorbing in the same way that we absorb, vocabulary from other
Mm-hmm.
musicians and from listening so much and imitating, listening to Ella Fitzgerald or Carmen McRae recordings early on and just trying to imitate. And then you sort of develop your own vocabulary around it. So that's what happened for me with Spanish as well. But like, as the musician brain in me is like, I can't speak this and not sound well. I not sound good. Like you know, I need to be
That's right.
understood and to have it fit in with what's happening. So when I was in BC, I was around a lot of Cuban musicians, and my professors were also from all different parts of Latin
Mm.
America. So I just kind of picked up little pieces, and but I think it's very much connected to sort of being a very musical person, which is like genetic. We found out my mom's adoptive parents were both musicians, and that her biological parents, and that he like spoke 5 languages. So
Oh,
language and
wow.
music are in the same part of the brain. But I think enunciation is very important. Like what is the point of having a lyric? Like the gift of
Right.
being a
That's
vocalist
true.
is having a lyric and a message to communicate. So if folks can't understand it, that's lost on me.
No,
I like clarity.
and I really appreciate to the I mean, just when I listen to a song, and I know it's somebody singing in a different language, and because it's what it is. I know it's its own thing sometimes to hear somebody butcher another language, but it's like, the way that you do it, it's always so refreshing to hear somebody and you're like,
Oh,
I can't tell that this person is Spanish is their second language, or you know what I mean,
I
like
really appreciate
it's
that.
like the effort that you really put in. Sometimes I'm guilty to just be like, like listening to a song that's just being like, oh man, like no, why, like you sing beautiful, but like why, and
Right.
and I don't know. I mean, I think the work behind it for you to, you speak yourself, but even for any singer to just be like, I'm gonna sing this song in another language, I'm gonna make the effort to understand the pronunciation and to
Oh,
understand the
100%.
lyrics, and that's
Yeah.
that's like another level. I really,
Yeah.
yeah, admire that. Really cool.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot, but I feel like that's just kind of the basic, that's just the foundation of approaching another language and of anything too. And
Hmm.
also I just love the poetry so much. I very much geek out on the word and on the inner the assonance and the inner rhymes and all things like that. So I want that to be um communicated and felt by the listener as well. So it's something, and also I'm very much into like thought based phrasing. So I want it to make sense in a way that you would talk. I want the idea to be communicated in that way through how I'm singing it as well. So it's an important part to me as well.
Definitely. Hey, man, it's been a wonderful time to talk to
I don't want to
you. I
go.
know. I know we have a this is the first time we have a song. Before we get to the song though, just to kind of give you guys a heads up, we have a song that Emily has not released anywhere else. Is that right, Emily? Like it's
That is correct. It has not been, this studio recording has not been heard
you
at
are
all.
gonna be blessed. Your ears are going to be blessed with this brand new thing here. We appreciate that you're sharing this with our audience. Um, but you can always if you miss some of this. Oh, this is a really good point. My producer is telling me that
Oh,
if you if you miss some of this, make sure to always you can always go back and check it out. Though we it's gonna live on our Facebook page. It's gonna live on our YouTube channel. And I'm just saying this because this was an amazing conversation. I know we do this live, but it's almost like we were talking earlier. This is almost like a video podcast. That's what it is.
yeah.
That people can always go back to and check out, oh, what was she doing back then, what is she doing now, like this is a way to document all these different things. So tell me, as we kind of just really wrapping up the conversation, though. I mean, I would love to stay here with you longer and ask you about all
Same.
these
It's been
different
a
things.
really great conversation, and thank you for keeping me on my toes. You're great at what you do too, and I really appreciate the work you all are doing. But for just engaging artists and giving us a chance to connect with a new
Oh
audience, so I
no,
really
man.
thank you
We
so
we
much.
thank you. We thank you and all the artists that have participated. It's been an amazing journey to just to have all these people. It's been scary all the time, not just because of the technology, but sometimes to just being like, oh my god, this guy is on the show. What am I? You know what I mean? Like it's yeah. So it's been amazing. But man, tell us about what you want to do once you decide the date for this album to come out, and tell us, because as artists we know that once we put it in our minds, then we work towards it, and then it becomes a reality. What are your goals with this album? What did you want it to happen?
I have a little list on my little board back here that's
That's good.
about, places I want to go and experiences that I want to have, either repeat experiences or, the world is full of beauty,
Mm-hmm.
despite what we tend to see of it every single day. There is a balance of an incredible beauty. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I want to tour the world. I want to play places around the world with this music and share it with people and facilitate a place for folks to process some of their emotions. I love being an instrument in that sense. So yeah, mostly traveling with it, and also it'll be really wonderful to play here in New York City again when things open up. I had a residency at the 55 bar once a month that like I treasure. The opportunity to be in a room and make music for people around that from around the world, from different parts of the world, was really awesome. So and I think also like music is a huge part of me, but it's not all of me, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I think that's part of why I'm just trying to be patient. Like, we all really just need to be taking very good care of ourselves right now and honoring what we need, whether that's rest or whether that's creating or whatever. So I appreciate that, you know, in this time. I hope artists, specifically, and everyone is learning to be more compassionate to themselves about, you know,
That's
about
right.
everything, and to let go of some of the expectations, and while gently kind of pushing ourselves to be courageous, you know, to have courage and to show up. But yeah, it's, you know, it is all a process, not to sum it up in sort of a cliche way, but yeah, so I hope to be seeing people in a lot of different cities around the world, and celebrating this new music and creating music after that. You know,
Yeah.
I hope to, you know, I hope to be able to just continue to do what I have been doing. It's been a real gift to be an artist, to spend my life as an artist.
Yeah, and you know, I think we, as a listener, as an one of your fans, I think you know, want to thank you for continue doing that music even through the struggles that we're going through. You know, as artists and that you're going through. I know it's you know, we've been saying about, you know, the different things that we've been private from, you know, like of gathering together and all these things. You
Hmm.
know, I've been thinking more and more of all you know, the people that we have lost. You know, like
Yes.
throughout this, you know, that they don't get a chance to you know, and young people too.
Yeah.
It's been awful musicians too that we've known, and so
Hmm.
you know, our heart goes out to all the family members that we've lost. You know, that people have lost through this pandemic, and you know,
Absolutely.
we want this music, our music, to come as a comfort and a way to easy that pain, because it's, you know, something that definitely affects our lives, and so we want you all to stay safe. You know, hopefully we're gonna work together to get out of this and continue the music playing. Emily, thank you so much again, really, for coming
Thanks,
in and sharing your
Table.
thoughts. You know, you're already sharing some like amazing music that, you know, you premiere here, and we really appreciate that. And we want to encourage all the audience members to go to all the social media outlets, platforms of Emily. Go to her website. It's everything on the links. Make sure to follow her. Get her music. I'm personally gonna try to. I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna get your album, your first album. Do you still have physical copies?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, what's the best way to get one?
Any social, if someone messaged me and asked for a physical copy of my album, my heart would melt.
Oh,
So just, you know, through it, it's my email is songbody@gmail.com, but Facebook, Instagram, any of the things, is fine. And
okay,
also, it's available on iTunes. It's up on Bandcamp.
cool.
I've
Sounds
been supporting Bandcamp quite a bit because they've been supporting artists, at least, you know, with their Friday. I think they have like one day a month where all the proceeds go directly to the artist, which I think is very cool.
yeah, definitely.
So
So yeah, make sure if that's your preferred way to get it. If you feel like it's more than just like clicking a button and adding to your playlist, you want an actual physical copy of it. Understand that that's the best way to support the artist in terms of the finances of it too as well. So we wish you much success. We want to thank you again because you were one of the first ones to actually came on the show when we were still doing it
yes,
on
yes,
Instagram.
figuring it
And
out.
oh
Candace
my
was
god, that was
such a badass.
intense.
Like, trying to be like,
That
I
was,
loved being part of that beginning. That was amazing.
you know, if now it's still a little bit like, oh my god, wait, what is going on? Do I have
Oh,
this?
come
Is
on, this is
oh
smooth.
oh the
This is
oh I
smooth.
those were, oh my god, that those were nightmares. I remember, you know, just Candace looking at me like, you know what I mean, and
Aw.
I'm like, or
Because you're
she,
sophisticated with it, playing these videos
oh
and
man,
yeah,
we
yeah,
we
making these graphics. Yeah, both of you. I think it's really
Candace is
awesome.
amazing. You know, she has a
Yeah.
drive. And but anyways,
Shout out to
shout out.
Candace.
So thank you so much again, though. We're gonna tell us a little bit about the last song that we're gonna leave everyone. We're gonna leave you with this new, completely brand new release of Emily. Tell us about that.
So this is a preview of another original tune called "Sweet Little Dream," written with Misha Piatigorsky, and it's become sort of just a love song to the magic of New York City nightlife and being an artist in this big city, but also sort of dedicated to anyone around the world who has a dream that they pour themselves into and into creating something new. So it's just about it being both an exhausting thing and also the most incredible gift and the most exhilarating way to be alive is to create something new, whether that's music or visual art or anything. So this is for all the artists and just anyone who has, poured themselves into something that you may or may not be able to see all the time. Just to keep doing that and to stay strong through all of this. So thanks for having me again.
Yeah. So I hope you guys are enjoying your evening. Check out this brand new song entitled Sweet Little Dreams. And make sure to be on the lookout for the album whenever it comes out. We're also excited about our next guest next week. Candace gets back into the screen and she'll be interviewing the wonderful Christine Sanders, an amazing singer, songwriter, and bluegrass performer and jazz, entrepreneur and everything. And Stephen Smith too, amazing instrumentalist. They're on next week, so make sure to tune in next week on Wednesday, like every Wednesdays at 8:00. So thank you all and have a wonderful evening. This is Sweet Little Dream.
Night is calling. Hear the way she sings to me. It's all or nothing. She's a lover and a thief. Stars are falling. Tell me, is it love or gravity? It pulls us closer. Got a hold on me. I try to find the words, turn it all to poetry. I try to turn this heartache into melody. Oh love, it takes me so high. It brings me to my knees. I try to let it go, but it won't let me be. This love is fire. Whoa, I feel it moving in me. Oh, I get so tired, I close my eyes and fall away. Maybe morning, maybe one more melody can keep me believing that this was born to be. Said I try to find the words, turn it all to poetry. I'm gonna turn this heartache into melody. Oh love, it takes me so high, it brings me to my knees. I try to let it go, but it won't let me be. This little dream, oh this sweet little dream, digging deep for this sweet little dream. Losing so much sleep for this sweet little dream. Pen to paper, oh my will is wearing paper thin. I think it's over, but it never ends. So I settle in, never settling. A heart put into practice is not abandoned, it's discipline. Well, I try to find the words, turn it all to poetry. Yeah. I'm gonna turn this heartache into melody. Oh, love, it takes me so high, for this, digging deep for this, digging deep for this. I'm losing so much sleep for this sweet, sweet little dream. Right there where my heart is, night it keeps calling, stars they keep falling. Yeah, my sweet little dream. I said night keeps calling, the stars keep falling for my sweet, this sweet little dream. Oh, 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 ooh. Stars they keep falling for this sweet, little dream. I'm losing so much sleep for this sweet little dream. Yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Losing so much sleep. Hace mucho que no escucho el canto tuyo. Ya tengo el disco, pero prefiero verte en vivo. Yo devoro momentos una y otra vez. Dime tú si todavía te saben bien. A la izquierda y abajo está el corazón. Y como su comandante, tú entraste por allá. El canto tuyo, y sé que ni mereces el cariño que te tengo. Sé que ni piensas vernos con los ojos encendidos del deseo, pero yo no me olvido del calor de tu mirada. Hace mucho que no escucho el canto tuyo. escucho el canto tuyo. Night is calling. Hear the way she sings to me. It's all or nothing. She's a lover and a thief. Stars are falling. Tell me, is it love or gravity? It pulls us closer. Got a hold on me. I try to find the words, turn it all to poetry. I try to turn this heartache into melody. Oh love, it takes me so high. It brings me to my knees.